Hey y'all. I was trying to be just lazy and maybe not go live. Ugh. Not that I got anything to do. I just been cleaning my bedroom today. And that Good Morning AAPC had I needed to get some continuing education, and my local chapter put on a review of the changes for 2022 coding. So they did a webinar way too early this morning. And then there was a time change difference. So I arrived an hour early and then, yeah. But I did broadcast that live today. Hopefully some people caught it. Let me tell everybody in chat we're going live. Okay. Let's go live. I was working on some questions, and plus I started trying to work with, there's this thing called Steam Labs OBS that you can download onto your desktop, and also something called BlueStacks that's supposed to run your desktop like it's a phone app. And maybe I could live stream from that so I don't have to work with my cell phone and focusing and stuff, but I couldn't get that to work either. So tried all of them today, and even Zoom today. I had tutoring scheduled with somebody, and then my teacher camera was upside down the whole time, and then I couldn't hear the audio. So I'm usually not this. I mean, I've worked remote from home for 8 years, and I am pretty tech savvy because I've had to work through connections that are through health plans and doctor's offices that are super secure. But I just cannot figure out how to broadcast on a desktop at all. I'm just inept at it for sure. For some reason. I have no idea why. All right. We were just working on a question about which main coronary artery bifurcates, whatever that word means, into two smaller ones. What the heck does even that one word mean? F-U-R, skates, bifurcates. I'm sure it's a medical term. Does anybody know that one? Let's see. Means divide into two branches like a fork in the road. You know, I got a story about forks in the road, y'all. If you ever get warts on your fingers, this is a true thing that will definitely clear it up. So what you do is, people don't have those very often, but they used to get warts on their hands. And when you do, what you do is you gather up some rocks around your home. However many warts you got, that's how many rocks you put in a box. And you take that box, seal it up good and tight, put it in the closest fork of the road nearest to your house, and leave it there. And when somebody comes along and picks up that box, they're going to walk away with your warts and they're going to disappear. Anyway, that's every time I see the word forks or divides into a fork in the road, I always think of that particular medical advice from my grandmother. Luckily, I never got warts, so I was all right. But I had a best friend. Her name was Jennifer Scott. I don't know what happened to her, but I can't remember. Maybe around 10 years old is the last time I talked to her. Her mother got married to another man, and as soon as we helped her get married and we were part of the wedding party, she just kind of drifted away. I don't know what happened to her mom and her, but they were my best friend since preschool. Jennifer had the innate ability to vomit at any point in time for any reason whatsoever. She was very handy to have, at school lunch day when we were having peas, because we could get rid of the lunch and they'd have to bring us out something else. She was great at that. All right. Bifurcates. So, which direction do the branches move out towards? Do they go to the right, the left, superficial, or are they inverted? Hey, Ange, how's it going? Hey, Coupon. Yep, it does mean divide. Thanks, Lily. I'm just rattling on for no reason. I am exhausted, so my mind will be going. Not really tired. I'm just lazy. I don't even know if I want to say the word exhausted, but I'm just have officially turned off the brain, so I may rattle on for a little bit. It does mean divide. So this question came from AAPC from one of their courses online. And as you're going through the cardiology section, there's usually 10 questions in the section that you'll ask that are quick review before you do the chapter exam. So this is just one part of the quick review. One of their questions, does anybody want to take a guess? Now, if you're doing the process of elimination, you can even do that with words here. So which two are super close together and there's only one thing dividing them, really, and that would be right and left, because inverted and superficial are not close enough in meaning to keep those. So if we're doing like AAPC has a pattern of doing, they'll give you 2 throwaways, and then they'll give you 2 that are super close that you still need to figure out which it is. So at least you've got a 50-50 shot here, even if you're doing the process of elimination. So it's either right or left. So you can either guess, or you can go look at the heart section, try to find the coronary artery, right, that feeds into some of this. You can even look in your ICD-10 book, which even has better pictures of the heart usually. It usually has better pictures, and then you can figure out which way it would be dividing, right? If you have any. So what way does this thing say? Carotid artery? To the left, to the left. Yeah, I won't sing, but left is the right answer. Ooh, let me unplug this before we get wires strangling everything. TikTok has been, no, I need to save this draft. Hold on. It's my cat doing nothing. Okay. I don't know if my lives have not been saving, and what I'm seeing is that if I make an event and I don't link that event properly with the live, then they're not recording the live. And sometimes I can be in the live in the event, and I'll get a notification during the middle of my live that says, would you like to start this event? And I've already started the event because I'll go into it and click start the event. Anyway, so I'm going to have to stop making those, I think, the calendar thingies, because it just seems to not be recording my replays. So today, let's see, I had that event this morning scheduled with the calendar to remind everybody, and you see it didn't record. The last night's live did record. I did not have an event scheduled. And then the 2 before, I did have a calendar event that people registered for, and it did not record those 2. It's like hours and hours of work gone. So I think I'm just going to stop making the calendar events available on TikTok. So please just join my Facebook group, little messenger chatty thing that we have. It's just what you would need to do is go to Jen Brewer on Messenger and message me, and I will add you into our chat. And this is where you will find out when we'll go live. You know, even if you just ask for me to go live, let's go live. I was late. I usually go at 6:30, and I was just sitting here being lazy and thinking maybe nobody will ask. And then, of course, people ask. So that's okay. So I jumped on, and I think I'll keep up with that. At least I can get them recorded, I think, better with it working like that. But my chat room is super handy dandy, guys. We are getting tons of information. You'll see here I do query every day in here in our chat group, ask questions, and then we have this vital information. People that took the exam today telling us what words were on their exam. I mean, you can't get any more vital information than that. So that group is super handy dandy and helpful, not only to tell you when we go live, but we are making differences for sure here. I want to make sure that everybody remembers, I haven't seen it lately, and people that have been taking their exams, nobody said anything, but just 8 weeks, maybe 6 weeks ago, people were saying that this part was on their exam. So please don't forget about Appendix L. There is a question about the branches of the vascular families. There's two families, arteries and venous. You know that. And then there's orders. There's first order, second order, third order, and beyond the third order. And then there's a list of arteries and things that they go in and which comes first, which comes second. And this second order is where they've been picking that one question from. So just make sure you know where Appendix L is, and you'll need to do a word search for the order that they're in. Hey, Jess, no worries, no worries. That's okay. Anytime. Hey, book. Maybe bookworm? Book? I think it means divide. It was in your COC course. Jess is probably pretty exhausted. She just took her exam today, too. No worries. Bookworm. One of my favorite, I used to run a internet site, and one of my favorites on the site, who was one of our main people, her name was also Bookworm. Love it, love it. This second order, it's just kind of like in the gastro area where they want to know which area comes first, ileum, duodenum, cecum. It's the same thing here. What comes first? Carotid artery, subclavian, down to axillary, something like that. But it's usually in the second order is where they're looking at. Just be sure you know where this Appendix L is at, just in case they ask you which comes first, second. You'll just need to do a word search there. Let me bring up some questions. Here we go. All right, process of elimination. This is what I like to do for all of the AAPC exams. They pretty much have a pattern of giving you two answers that are super close together, and then two answers that are pretty far away from each other, and you just have to guess and see which ones are correct or not. I can't remember if I went over this one last night, but Yep, Connor's got it going on. We are going to keep, she likes B and D because they're both 385s, I'm assuming. I kind of like C because of the 00 with the 500. That just is like, but anyway, I definitely would get rid of this one because it just looks odd comparatively. We've got two here that are the same length as far as many codes there are, and we do have modifiers that do make some differences. Would we have one code with two modifiers? It's just interesting to look at. But either way, let's go to the first one in sequence, which is 38500. Raise this up. Hopefully, come on. All right. 385. 38. Had a lot of questions on the Etsy site today, which is cool. But if anybody wanted a printout of the notes, that's where they're at. And I'm working on retyping them for 2022 so that you don't have to read my chicken scratch. I'll have it typed out for next year. 38500 is over here, and it's pink highlighted in my notes because it was on my CPC exam. So I audited their exam. I went through and highlighted all the codes that were possible answers for my exam, whether it was CPT, ICD, or HIPICS, and wrote in what guidelines they were using, and then took that home and audited it, and then audited other things that people were selling online to help you pass the exam, and came up with my own little way of completing their exam with the most efficiency. So 38500, we're under excision. Where is 38555? Where is that one? It might be under a different heading. It's still under excision. It's saying excision 2. What are we excising? 00. This is mostly a biopsy of a lymph node. It's an open procedure right there. This 55 is an excision of a cystic hygromona. Good Lord. So I'm going to do just a quick word search for something like that. Suprathyroid is what they keep going over. I don't see that word here, so I'm going to get rid of 55. I don't see it here in 500. I'm not going to force anything, so I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to go look at the C. 38700, and I may end up having to go to the A code, but let's see. Oh, look. Right there, we're seeing suprahydra. That's the word that's in there just multiple times, just over and over and over again. So yeah, I'm going to pick C and move on with my question, or to the next question is what I would do. If you can't find the key word that's in the description of the CPT code in the question, and you can't find anything that's an AKA of it, then it's definitely you're barking up the wrong tree. You may need to go look at a different CPT code. I don't know why this thing won't focus. Oh, it's the most frustrating thing of the live here. But C is going to definitely be our answer, and we can move on. I didn't think that the 50 and the 58 being together was going to be anything important anyway. And then we've got a C cancer code with a Z code afterwards. I'm okay with that as long as it's not the Z51. You know, if we have the Z51, we need that to be in front, especially if they're having chemotherapy or radiation. So I'm okay with it being in the back as long as it's not that code. Hi, Chris. All right. Process of elimination. Let's see about these codes. What have we got? We've got 60, 61, and 63. So let's get rid of C, right? Let's go run to these codes and see what they are before you look up and see what the question is about. 365, 60. 365. 365, we've got tunneled, so we better see the word tunneled in our question. 61 is an age difference, so we've got ages, and then 63 is also tunneled. So it's probably going to be a difference between the 63 and the 65. Knowing AAPC, they're going to try to pick something that are too similar. I have some extra notes that I've learned along the way about these two particular codes that might not be where you would you wouldn't know that this one comes with a pump, maybe, and then this one is also called Infusaport. Sometimes they give them proper names, like if they're named after something that somebody created, or if they're named after the creator of it, like the maze process or something else. This one is called Infusaport. Your AAPC question will definitely have that in it if it's going to be that, and then this one's going to be with the pump. So my greeny thing is just falling apart for some reason. It's just being mean tonight. So let's go check up our question here. And we are doing a central line. It's definitely tunneled, right? And we do have a pump. So, and he's over 7. Not that the year matters in this one at all, but it's definitely going to be 63 because of the pump. That was our key word. I hope that's helpful. Let's see. Don't look at the question. All right, let's look at this one right here. All right, we've got 60, we got 20, 40, 0, 0, and 2, 5. They're all so close. I just run to this one. Let's go see what's going on. So we're at 366, 0, 0. We're not far. 366, 0, 0. We are under the header of arterial. So 0, 0 is here. The next one we have is the 25, then the 40, and the 60. So they're all really close together. They want us to pick out which one we're doing. They're going to end up having some sort of key term that is going on. If we're doing a newborn, you're going to have the newborn right here. If they're having some sort of chemotherapy infusion, that's what's going on right here. They would say that word, or they would say that word for those two codes. So we're going to look up the P word, the C word. We're going to look up if they're any kind of chemotherapy or if they're a newborn. So our question is pretty small. Says nothing about Nothing about chemotherapy, like patient was needing it for chemotherapy. We do see the word cut down. So arterial catheterization with the cut down. It wouldn't be this one because they would have to state that it was for prolonged use. They were going to be using it for chemo. This is probably something that they're doing just, and it does say just for monitoring purposes. So it would be just during a procedure. So this is not going to be long-term at all. So don't forget about something like that being down in there. So this is just short-term. Definitely not going to be long-term. They're just doing it short-term. So it's definitely going to be 25 and you can move on. And so that one's D. D on that one. And I did this one already tonight. I think that's all I prepped before I got lazy because I did those last night. I think I did this one last night. I'm not sure. Yep. We did this one. The Medi scope. We did that one and that one and that one. Yep. We did all these. Now our practice A. Oh my gosh, at the info we have to add. Where is my lovely team? That's somewhere else. We got it right here. I have some stuff I need to add. Woo. Let's see, we've got all this. It's pretty much, and the codes are cool to add. We can add this to the bottom of our, what was on our exam. And then I had a few more things up here that somebody talked about. I even asked in our thing this morning. Oh yeah, Isabel let us know about that one. Which procedure requires irrigation? Would it be simple, intermediate, or complex? That first exam question that she opened her book to freaked her out so much she wasn't prepared for it, didn't know how to answer that one. It just struck her as odd, nothing that she had practiced. And she let a mental wall go up that delayed her in the first part of her exam. She just stared at it. So if you see a question in your very first one, just hits you like, I am not prepared for this exam, skip it right away. Don't even look at it any more longer. Don't just walk away. Walk away and come back to it later on. You need to get in your groove of answering questions. Just let it go. Don't stress. No walls. The answer to that one is definitely intermediate. Complex procedures are introducing usually donor or your own tissue from another location into an area so it can heal. So if you are transferring tissue to an area, you have to make sure that it is super clean and there's no infection. So intermediate ones are the ones that you need to flush out because usually those are layered closures, and the reason for the layered is because of the issue with infection. You have to clean all that out and remove all that extra material out of the skin, and then you do a layered closure because of it. So layered is the proper answer for that particular question. Will you explain what is the part of the, oh, You want to go back to that one? Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. So, what we did was, you need to find out which one of these codes is going to be in the right area, right? It ended up being these two because they are right there. So if you go to 39, they're the same code. So 39401. Right here. All I'm doing is matching a word. If the other codes were 32607, so if you go to 32, if you just wanted for kicks and giggles, 32, if I can find it, way on back here. Oh my gosh. 32607. I don't even know where those codes are at. Do I have it right? 32632. Way back in another section. 32607. So 32607 is under VAT. So is 06. They're both under the VAST, V-A-S-T, and most definitely it would say video assisted thoracic surgery. So for this one, those two are thoracic. These, the 39s, 39401. 39401 are under scopes, but they definitely say Medi. And all I'm doing is taking the major word from the question, reading the question from backwards up, finding what I know is part of or would be part of the CPT description of any of these codes. I know that Scopy, right, is going to be in the descriptive words of whatever I'm coding. It would say it somewhere. Definitely does. My only options are the 39401 and then these two 32s. The 32s are under the thoracoscope. I'm not doing thoracoscope. It doesn't say thoracoscope. It says that whatever scope. Metascope. And I'm just matching key terms. Once I get me a key term match, the other thing that I noticed here is that's a cancer diagnosis code, right? When would you ever have an R code, which is like lab results? If you know anything about your ICD-10 book, you kind of know what's in what section, especially what C section is, because it's a pain in the butt with all those cancers, because sometimes benign, metastatic, there's codes everywhere. It's a nightmare. No one wants to code cancer. So you kind of remember, because you're traumatized with PTSD, about all those C codes. So when would you ever code anything before a cancer code? You wouldn't, right? That's your big bad reason for being in the office. You're doing a scope. Now, if she was in here or he was in here for like a fractured leg and it's got nothing to do with their cancer, or, you know, they got in a bar fight and they need a laceration done, yeah, you might do something before cancer. But that's how I eliminated A, was knowing that R would never go before that. This person's here for a chest scope, and it's probably related to their cancer. And I would never put an R code before a cancer code in that situation. So I just, process of elimination, know that B is our answer for that one. I hope that helps. But I like that one because you could look at this one and without even looking at the, if you were brave enough, without even looking at the question, if I got an answer like this on the exam, I would know right away with process of elimination that I need to figure out if it's A or B because they're the same CPT code. So I wouldn't even look at C and D. And then I would look at these two diagnoses. I would know right away I can't code that R before a cancer code. So I have to eliminate A. I would know B is my answer, and I would have never looked up at that test question at all. I would just move on and go on to my next test question. Now, I don't know if y'all are brave enough to do that during your exam. You probably want to verify and have something match, like that M word, to match with that 4-1 before you moved on. But that's what I'm telling you can do for this CPC exam. You get to where you practice this process of elimination enough, you can get confident in it, and you can do questions just like this, for sure. What have I got up here? She had some really nice test questions. They were mostly anesthesia that I did during her tutoring. She was not one of my last ones. I had one today. I kept trying to go over process of elimination with her, but she's got some homework to do, so she's got to prep her book. So we'll do process of elimination after she preps her book. So she was excited to get that going. But we have some E&M practice exams for E&M. Up here at the beginning, I have just some tips about it, about E&M before I go into my E&M questions and answers. I have about 45 of them. We've done a few of these. You can see some of our markings here, but a lot of them we haven't done. So there's some E&Ms here that we can go over that we haven't played around with too much. We've got some modifiers in here we can do. There's one of our Z's right away, right there. When would you have a Z51 in front of something? Yeah. Ooh, we got some more modifiers. New patients, established patients. Do y'all know the rule? What if your two answers are the difference between a new patient or an established patient? But the scenario in the question doesn't tell you whether they're a new patient or not. So your guideline tells you to make sure that you always code lower if possible. So you will always code them as established if there's no direction or clear understanding that says that they are a new patient. You know, in the real world, you'll have a real chart. You'll be able to see if they've had previous encounters. Here, we're given 2 sentences, so we don't know much. So for next year's notes, guys, that is going to look like this. I know I've showing this off all the time, but it's going to show y'all. I don't know why does this not have, good gracious. This is not the newest version. I don't know why it keeps opening up another one. Nope. That's a practice exam. This one, auto recover. Good gracious. Yeah, this is the newer version. So you're going to come in here and all I'm giving you is what you need to highlight. So you're just going to highlight expanded, straightforward. It's going to tell you your time and then how many 3 of 3s. And then it's going to give you examples on each one on how to code them. Y'all know that the pink highlights were on our CPC exams before. So the next set of codes that I give you won't be yellow highlighted. Y'all should know whatever's written down here are the words that I want y'all to highlight. So, and then over here will be your clinical examples that y'all can write at the bottom if you want them, or beside them, whatever you want to do. But then y'all can write in your 3 of 3. You can do your EE low, those kind of things to add to your notes, but you won't have to read my chicken scratch anymore. That's going to be so nice when I get done with it. So, still working on it. So, our practice exam. I just need to good. So this question right here, when you are given, let me get my draw tool out again. Okay, good. We know, hopefully you know by now, that 13 and 14 are established patients. They just get bigger in complexity. Then this 95 is back there in my little kryptonite area where the wellness exams are. They have an 8-5 and a 9-5. One's established, one's new patient. And then they have this random one we can throw away, unless the question says code the procedure. Then you know probably the answer is only D because these aren't procedures. Anyway, we can look at our question really quick to see, are we doing an established visit or are we doing a annual wellness? When you see that annual wellness or the word risk, if you see anything like that, or if they come in to stop smoking and stop drinking to their PCP, I'm not saying psychologist, but if they're here and they're getting talked to about their drinking or smoking in your question, you know it's going to be the 9-5. This one you can answer without going anywhere, looking at any codes. If you know enough about the numbers, I don't like anybody memorizing anything at all. I like you to have all the information in the books, but anytime you see a wellness, you know it's not going to be 12 and 13. You can eliminate those right away, even if you didn't know what 95 was. You know annual wellness doesn't go with those. That's for your blood pressure checkups, your diabetes checkups, those things. This annual wellness, no matter their age, it could be a 2-year-old, a 2-month-old, to a 60-year-old. You're still doing these weird codes back in the back. So this one you can actually look at and just code just based off that right there. So we've gone over that question, I know, before. I know we've done that one. So let me skip down some. We've got another one with the 04 and the 03. You know those are new patients, right? You know this 14 is established, and look, you've got another 94. There's an annual wellness right there. So you've got one established, 2 new patients. Look at your last sentence. Dr. Shaw, how are you going to code his visit? So the kid fell off his bunk bed. He dislocated something. He's already been seen for a school physical 6 months ago, so you won't repeat that. So you can definitely get rid of that. Right? He's not new, so you can get rid of those 2 new patients, right? So before you even have to look up anything, you know it's going to be 14 without moving a page in your book. How's it going, Jess? I'm sure you're overwhelmed. Did you seem, I don't know. Was it okay? I hope it was okay. I just hope you felt okay while you were taking it. And I heard you got exam C again. She's had it a couple of times. We kept preparing her for B exam because it was the one exam she hasn't had. She's had A and C, and then she ends up getting C again today. And we didn't practice that one as much as we did this B. We were all up in the B. Good gracious. You never can tell with them. We thought for sure they were going to make them. Transport care for critically ill. That's a cool one. Which one is it? The 8-5, the 8-6, the 8-7, or the 8-8? I'd have to go look. You finished with 10 minutes to spare. Look at you. Look at you. Woohoo. I had another one that finished with like 25 minutes to spare today. That was doing a column an hour. I don't know if she was in person or online, but that's the goal. If you're in person, the brackets of answers are separated into 5 columns of 30 questions each. If you do 30 questions in an hour, that's 5 hours, then you've got 40 minutes left to second guess yourself if you really want to, and drive yourself make yourself nervous, or turn your quiz in and walk away. That's what I did. I was like, I'm done. Here we go. I'm not looking at it again. But yeah, that's good. She had 10 minutes to spare. She walked out of there like a pro. Like, I know what I'm doing. 99485. 994. There's our wellness. Those are the established. These are your, if you don't know any other codes, know your first E&Ms up here in the first 3 pages to the 99215. At least know what they are, like established or new patient. Know all the codes to 99215. If you're going to do any flashcards, know those. And then I want you to know these established and new patient, just wellness exam. Just know they're 99381 to 87, and then you've got 91 to 97. Just know that those are the annual wellness. Know those 2 codes. Know those. The rest you can just wait and go look them up in the book as they come along in the exam. 99486, but that will save you some time just knowing those, because you can do process of elimination and get down to just the only answer it can be, for sure. So 85, they're on page 51 because they're all out of whack. Nope, not there. I can't read my handwriting. 998. 99485. We're under critical care there. No worries, Jess. Hoping for the best, too. Yeah, get some rest. I know you are just emotionally and physically drained. That exam is no joke. It really is not fun to do. It's throwing everything in this book at you at once. Let's do a heart cath. Let's do a stent. Let's do urology. Let's do OBGYN. Let's do a fracture. Let's do an injury. Let's throw some lab and path in there. Let's go back to E&M. It's just everything. Everything all at once. It's a nightmare. Mm-hmm. So we've got 8-5, 8-6. Where's 8-7? This one's going to be under, you got to make sure when you're looking up the answers for these, you'll see that there is no header before these at all. And that's how they trip you up, is because your header is way on another page. The other two codes, the 87 and 88, are definitely not going to be underneath pediatric transport. So then you just need to do your time. So what we have is the first 30 minutes, and that's going to be included in 8-5. Anything after is going to be the next code. So A is our answer for this one. Your 8-7 and 8-8 or 8-9 are under complex chronic management services. That baby being transported isn't got anything to do with chronic. I mean, it may end up with some chronic issues, but that's not what we're coding right now. We are coding just the supervision of medical transportation of a critically ill patient. So that is definitely our 8-5. And we can move on. Have y'all seen that movie Lucas? That's so cute on Disney Plus. It's super cute. Did pharmacy students and law students have a rough time? So I'm driving home. Oh, I know our exam being 150 questions and timed and all this stuff is worse than even the RN exam. It's 75 questions, and you got time to do your measurements and calculations and evaluate in between the questions. Sometimes you can get a few extra questions, because if you don't do well in one section, they might throw you a couple of more, but still, it's just nothing like this at all, for sure. Well, for pharmacy, man, those, if you've met a pharmacist, man, I'd want them to strip down too if I was going to exam them. They're pretty crazy. Um, but what else? Lawyers? You don't even have to go to school and you can take that bar exam. I mean, really, if you wanted to. That's weird. Hmm. Yeah, I could see. I mean, I could have come in on my CPC exam and with a cell phone, and as long as I had it turned off where it didn't even make noise when I touched the screen, I could have gone to the bathroom and Googled something, but of course I didn't. I left mine out in the car. Just before the AAPC don't need to get no ideas. I know, I know. The getting an ADA for at home when you take the exam at home, and then get an ADA so you could have an extra time. You get an extra hour, so it's 30 minutes per part. And then getting an ADA saying you can get up and go potty. Oh, talk about the devices I'd have in the bathroom. I'd wait till I get 3 or 4 things written down on my little white erase pad thing that I didn't know the definition of, and I'd keep chiming those in my head, going, what are they, what are they, what are they? And then I'd go to the bathroom and then go look them up and then come back. But yeah, where there's a will, there's always a way. And we just need 70. And I think this process of elimination is super helpful, guys. I mean, just really super helpful. Y'all are going to be able to just ration out which answer is correct. Like, you've got 2 with the same diagnosis. We don't know nothing about whatever's going on with this question. So these 2 you can eliminate. These 2 with the same diagnosis, right? So look at the next diagnosis. Would we have a Z code? And we know what our Z51 is, right? That's chemotherapy, radiation. Would we follow up with another Z code? History of, and that's what we would code them. Are we giving somebody chemotherapy for history of something? Hell no, we're giving them chemotherapy because they have cancer right now. So you're going to have a C code. So why are you looking up anything? A is your answer. Y'all, this is just like cheating, almost, really, the way we're presenting this, and we are circumventing all the propaganda they have in these questions. We're not taking it with us. When we go to the next question, we didn't need to read any of that. We're not carrying along that this was a 50-something-year-old patient with whatever cancer, and we're not carrying that memory of that, what we just read, to our next question. I'm teaching you a way of eliminating what you read, getting rid of everything and not even reading the test question, just doing a word search where you can even just look for one word and then you know what the answer is going to be. Let's look at this one right here. So we've got 223, 245, 255, and 221. So it's a difference between 221 and 223, and then the 45 and the 55, right? We just need to eliminate one or the other. So let's go take a gander. We're taking a gander up here at the top. We've got an attending physician request a consult. Which one of these code sets are under consults? I don't imagine a lot of people would remember those. I don't remember them. I don't know which ones are under consult, but we can look it up real quick. 99223. And keep in mind that if a patient requests a consult, you don't go to the consult codes. If a health plan is demanding that they have a consult, you do not go to the consult codes. The only way you go to the consult codes is if you have an actual physician who is asking for another physician to come in and help him with that patient. So 223 is under initial hospital care. Are we doing that? Nope. Is 221 there too? Yep. So we know it's not going to be A or D right away. We know it's going to be 45 or 55. What are you doing home so early? That store ain't even closed yet. Did you get off early?
Yep, Gloria got back.
Oh, gosh. And she had to work in Vegas and then came to the store just to close?
Yeah, she had yesterday off.
Oh, my God. Lovely. Aw. Poor thing. Okay, 4-5 is under office consultation, and then 5-5 is under inpatient consultation. So we just need to find out if we're under inpatient or outpatient. So attending physician, second opinion. So where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? 45? 45? 45 is under office consultation. Nope, we're not under office. So we got to be under 55. Are we under inpatient consultation? Yeah, we're under inpatient consultation because we're not in an office. When you have an attending physician, you know you're in the hospital. So yeah, we've got C right here for that one. For sure. Yeah, hey Disney Mom. Yeah, Ange, I'm giving y'all too much info. So y'all can go do bad things to get you kicked out. But I think this is just all you need. Now that we've looked at these codes, they're the same answers as down here. So a cardiology consultation requested for a 69-year-old. So we've already got the consultation. We know it's going to be a consultation. So we know it's not going to be one of these 2-3, right? So we just need to know if it's inpatient or in an office, some situation somewhere else, right? Don't know how are we going to see. What is it? Chest exam. How do we know whether she is in the office or if she is in the hospital for this one? 33. Yeah, if she has chest pain, guys, you know where she's at, right? Nobody's going to let that person not be admitted. So the T is in the description right there. They're not telling us. Well, it does say inpatient there. I'm getting all distracted. She is inpatient. Which one was inpatient? The only one with inpatient is 55 again, right? 54 is 2, but 55 is 2, so we need to know what is her MDM. What's her MDM? Her MDM is complexity of high. Yeah, so it is the 55 again. Yep. I missed that she was inpatient right there. I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, chest pain. I know they ain't going to let her be out of the hospital. Anybody says chest pain, you're not going anywhere. You won't be driving to some cardiologist office to get seen. You're definitely going to be inpatient. But then, of course, inpatient was right over here at the end. I like to skip over their ages or who they are because I try not to carry that information with me. But inpatient's right there. And because we had 2 that were inpatient, you just needed to look for her MDM to see, and she's high because she's cardiac, so C is our answer for that one. Is this how the test looks in person? No, you won't have every question. I mean, I guess so. What was our printed exam like? It depends on if you're in person. Now, if you're online taking the test, it will be one question at a time, obviously, right? On the screen, and then you just pick A, B, C, or D, and then they'll move to the next screen where your next question will come up. On the in-person one, you're going to have a booklet, right? And each booklet will have so many pages written out with however many they can fit on the page, and then you'll have a bubble sheet that you'll bubble, and the columns are 5 columns, and then there's 30 questions per column, and you'll just bubble in A, B, C, or D based off what question there is. Now, these questions did come from AAPC. They're from their practice exams that they have. They have practice exams A, B, C, D, E, and F. And I've got them all. Usually I have them all separated, but I didn't plan much for today. I got distracted with cleaning my bedroom and making more room for all these darn books that I have. Brought me in another table over here to hold all these books so they're not all stored on this one and shaking it all over the place. I can just go get those as I need it. So I was distracted today. So does it matter if a patient, just look at this first sentence right here. A new patient presents to an ER. Do we care if they're new or established? Does that make any sense whatsoever? Don't read these questions. They're just full of crap. In the ER, it does not matter whether you are new or established. Everybody gets an ER code based on their MDM, right? So you're definitely not going to have an O2, right? Because you're not going to be scheduling anybody for any kind of O2, new patient reason for being seen. So you can get rid of that for sure. Then we've got a 3-2, an 8-2, and an 8-4. Probably going to be one of those, right? I don't know. Because they like to pick codes that are super close together as possible answers and then give you 2 throwaways. So I'd run to the 82 first to see if that's what we're doing. The 99282 is under emergency room, and so is 8-3 or 8-4. So we just need to figure out what their MDM, which is their medical decision making, was low. So 8-4 is moderate, 8-2 is low. So we know our answer is B with that one. So there's our 8-4, our MDM is moderate. Our 8-2, which is way up here, is under low. Did you see Jay Bird? He's trying to play the guitar today. John taught him some chords.
I know, it's awesome.
Did you see that? Yeah, I was trying to get him to play the piano. I love the piano sounds. But he's doing guitar. How's my love? You look tired. You tired?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like, no alarms at 6:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Come on, mister. Let you sleep in. You get up whenever you get up.
That would be nice.
Yeah. It's whatever you want to do. Now, if y'all got plans and got to get going in the morning, go for it. Go hang out. I love you. I love you. You're going to kill some chickens tomorrow.
Yeah.
I love you. You have fun with your brother. I love you.
Have fun.
I will. I'll have fun. He's going to go hang out with his brother tonight. And I told him he could have no alarms going off at 6:30 in the morning. So he's going to go spend the night with his brother so he doesn't make me have any alarms. Because I've got my wild child away from the house that gets me up every morning at crack butt of dawn. So I got one morning I can sleep in the morning. So he will be home. I'm not doing a live tomorrow night, so, and I got to pick up Travis at 5, so I love you. Okay. I think I'll spend the night over his brother's and kill some chickens, I guess. Good gracious. Farm life. Not me. I'll get mine from Foster Farms out of the frozen food section. Thank you very much. Don't be bringing none of that mess home. Nope. I'm sure it's healthy, but good gracious. Those chickens were on my kids' heads. We played with them chickens. Gave them names. I'm not going to eat Feather Fred. Nope. One of them had bumblefoot or whatever that is, and we had to nurse it back to health. No, you're not going to make me eat them. Good God. Men. They're so crazy. Okay. I know, poor chickens, but I mean, at least they were raised humanely. They're not in cages or anything, you know, so they just roam around the desert out here in Arizona. It's really stupid. I don't know how they raise, they're super skinny chickens. It's really ridiculous. I don't know why. You know, they just want to be farmers. Let the men do what they want to do, but I ain't got to cook it and I ain't got to eat it. So they can just do it out there at their own place. I don't want nothing to do with it. Oh my gosh, men. Right. They just want to hoot and holler and howl at the moon. But I hear tell it's super humane what they do to their chickens. So, but whatever. As long as they don't see it's coming. Whatever. I don't want them stressed out, but I ain't gonna eat them. All right. I might sound southern, but I am not southern in the least little bits. Ooh, we got an admit for observation. So, what is noteworthy about the subsequent day observation codes? That's their question. Our question here doesn't ask us anything about what to code, whatever's going on here, but what it's asking is, what is the noteworthy about subsequent day observation codes? And you know, I was doing something about that for my E&M codes for 2022. These are initial observations. So it says, I've been putting in notes, not really realizing that this goes with some of these questions, but I found some information that I like to put like tips and FYIs in here too, along with the coding examples of how to code each code, obviously. But when coding observation services, there is a distinction between the services lasting beyond 24 hours and those lasting at least 8 hours, but less than 24 hours. Good God, why they got to go back and forth and throw so much information at you? I wish they could make it just clear. And I'm typing this out, really. Okay, if the patient remains in observation for at least 8 hours and discharged on the same date of service, select from observation or inpatient care codes here. Why is it or? Why can't they just tell us to code this or that? I really hate the subjectiveness of the rules of coding. That's why I like auditing. Procedures performed while a patient is in observation can be coded separately, and if the procedure presents separately identifiable service, add a modifier 25. That's helpful. What else did I put in here? Is that it? Yeah. Codes are out of sequence. What did I put over here? Tip. If you ask another physician to see your patient during his or her observation stay, that physician should use an office or outpatient visit code or outpatient consult code. Inpatient consult codes and subsequent hospital visit codes should not be used because the patient has not been admitted to inpatient services. That's helpful to know during the exam. So if you have a patient who is under observation and then you have somebody come in and do a consult for you and they're only being sticking around under observation, then they can't code a consult code for inpatient consult. Nope, because they're not inpatient. Very neat. All right, what was that question they were talking about? I thought that information might be helpful with it, but it says, what is noteworthy about subsequent day observation codes? They are add-on codes. Are they? 99222? I don't think so, right? They can't be add-on codes. That makes no sense. 222. Subsequent observation codes. No, they're all out of sequence. They're not where there should be. So that is definitely not it. They're not add-on codes. They are out of order codes. Yeah, they're out of order. They are modifier 51 exempt. Are they? Nope. If they were, they would have this symbol before the code. Well, I guess I ought to go to the right code. 99235. 99235. 99235. Right here. No, they don't have that exemption on them for sure. And then 99200, they do not have E&M rules or 3 key components. 99220. What the hell do they mean by that? 9920. Well, they do. They have 3 key components. They do. So we cannot say they do not. So that's not it either. So I guess it's just these. Oh boy. Our whole question was, yeah, they're out of sequence. Funny question. Why bother asking us what that? That's just weird. Yeah, they're out of sequence. We know you have a messed up CPT book. Why are you pointing it out to us on the exam? But that's okay, I guess. It's the question they wanted to ask. But all this stuff up here, all this, there was no need to read any of this, right? All they wanted was what was the noteworthy about subsequent day observation codes. And then you had to go from that code to that code. Go look it up and see, are they add-on codes? Nope, they're not. Then you needed to go to this code to that code. Are they out of order? Yep. Then you needed to go to these codes and these codes, see if they're a modifier exempt. Nope. And then this one to that one. Nope. I didn't need to read anything in that question because the only thing they were asking was the last sentence. Don't forget to look up at your last sequence before the last sentence. Actually make sure what they're asking before you go on a witch hunt. Yeah, that was a weird question, wasn't it? I don't think I've ever done that one. That's very interesting. Yeah, I want to go over maybe a section and I'll show you what codes are on my exam and what I've highlighted in that exam section or in the CPT section that I think is noteworthy to have for your exam. I could try to do some medicine or lab and path. Probably lab and path, huh? What's the difference between the graphs, allo and auto? Okay. I get the answer to that. going to be here. Right here. Oops. I keep touching the screen and losing it. I hate that. Some of these touch screens are like crazy. Okay. Get rid of that. All right. This does happen to be on exam B. In case you do end up with that exam, we have split thickness graphs and full thickness graphs are in these scenarios. So skin getting graft that can be attained from another area on your body, your own body, is called autograph. So it's your automobile, it's your engine, your car. Think of it that way. We are going to take skin from your stomach usually and put it around your skull if you've had an injury and had to have that part replaced. I've seen that a bunch of times. So think of it as your automobile, your car. Allograft is from cadavers or donor skin. So skin that can be attained from another person, whether it's donor skin or a cadaver. It's usually frozen and stored, and they pretty much pound it out like a meat tenderizer and make it spread it out. That's called the allograft. So I use the 2 sticks for allo as somebody walking somebody else's body part to you. That reminds me of 2 legs. I don't know, use your own analogy, but every time I see those 2 little sticks right there, I think somebody's walking somebody else's body part to me. Here we go, Sammy. You need to go out. Here you go. Let me let my cat out. Here you go. All right. So hopefully that is helpful. And then they have another one. When it's xenograph, it's an X, then that's from usually another species of animal, like a pig. Let me see if that was my mom. You okay, Mom? Yeah. Oh, yeah, Sammy came in. Oh, yeah. She's talking to the cat. That's what it was. I'm sorry, TV. It's getting loud. So I always think of automobile. It's your car. You're in the driver's seat. You're driving. That's your body part coming back to you. The 2 sticks in allo mean that somebody's walking somebody else's body part to you. And then X means they're slaughtering a pig and giving you his skin. So X-nay on that say. That's just the way I think of it now. If, your skin's burnt or something else. There's also fish scales they're starting to use now for burn patients, speaking of that. So, and that works really well too, which is crazy. It produces a nice watery slush thing that won't allow your skin to dry out. That has to be re-debrided off after it dries out. So the skin from the fish has been working out really well. So I'm not sure if they call that X2, but I'm assuming the fish scales are the X2. So I've taken these split thickness and the full thickness, and I've divided them up into this little cheat sheet here. So if the codes are asking, or the question is asking about a split thickness, then it's these codes. Just by body part, so you'll know right away. And then if it's full thickness, it's by body part and just these codes. So it makes it a little easier. But yeah, automobile, it's your car, your skin. And then we've got the aloe is 2 sticks. Somebody walking somebody else's body part to yours, for sure. You're welcome. No more getting them mixed up. You'll hear me as a little birdie in your ear now, telling you that you're in the driver's seat. You're getting your own body part put back on you for that particular question. So you won't get that one wrong anymore. All right, my next live is most definitely going to be on Monday, 6:30 prompt, guys. And if you need copies of my notes, those are available. The link in bio here on TikTok has a 20% off coupon. If you want any sections, you can get them there. Recommendations is the E&M guidelines. I know it says they're 2022, but there's really not that much updated from one year to another, and the benefit of getting those 2022 is just awesome. They're really good notes for your E&M guidelines, and it's something that you can hold on for the next years to come to help you code in real life. The other section is my medication section so far, because it's got all my little tips and tricks and stuff that I learned along these other sections along the way that I knew that y'all needed, because I built up a better process of doing the notes along the way for each section. So this section is one of the best because it's the last one I did. Handwritten, so it's really good. Plus I put more clinical examples in it until I get 2022 done. But those are available. The link's in bio. Also, my email address is up there, so if you need anything, you can email me. I do have tutoring available on Medical Coding by Jen. If you go there and you can schedule, just keep in mind same day scheduling for same day tutoring. I kind of need to know who you are, where you are in your process, and what section you want to go over, and then I can prep some questions for you to personalized questions for us to go over, and then prepare those. So I like a day notice. So if you schedule something same day, it's pretty difficult. Plus I might be doing my real job or something else, but the calendar for some reason stays up that way. But anyway, just so you know, just schedule a day in advance is all I need, because I'll message you as soon as you schedule and ask you what you want to go over, and then I'll prepare something for you. And then if I have any meetings for job or real life or anything, I'll make sure things get rearranged to so that you and I have private time where the TV and the kids aren't around. So most definitely super helpful there, especially if you're right before your exam and you know what you want to work on, and you and I can go through some exam questions and practice those right away. Super helpful. Messenger, be sure and find me for our chat group. It's super helpful. We query and ask questions all day long and help out each other every day, all day long on our little chat group. It's all free. And then we share what was on our exams too. So super helpful there. Just come find me on Messenger. Same name, same profile pic. Just come find me there and message me and let me know you want to join our little chat group. You can get daily tutoring all for free. Tons of pictures are shared there. Tons of questions. Plus you'll know when I go live, because I'm not going to schedule any more events on TikTok because they don't seem to be recording my TikToks when that happens for some reason. They're just blanking them out when I do that. I don't know why. That was 10 this morning. I did an hour this morning, and I had it scheduled because I knew it was something cool. It was from AAPC. So anyway, it's just lost because I scheduled an event. So that's there. You can find me on my website. The website also has 2 programs on it, 1 through 3, and then the 4th program. That's just to show you screenshots on how to prepare each chapter of the CPT book so that you can make your notes ready for your CPC exam, which is super helpful during your exam. So I will see everybody in our chat group all day tomorrow. You know it's Q&A day. I will be querying all day. We'll go through lots of sections, and then anything that I find that is super helpful I will share in our chat group tomorrow. I'll go live again on Monday night, and that'll be 6:30 Arizona time zone for me. So I hope this has been helpful. Sorry I was a little late and being lazy. I hope this has still been helpful. Aw, Travie is my biggest fan. I miss my little monster. It's so freaking quiet in this house. My little man, and he'll be so surprised. The bedroom is just so empty now. All I got is some bottled water. I gotta get that out of here. But they keep making water bombs. Has anybody else had their children take all the water bottles, squeeze them in half like they're like they're balloons of air balloons where they make poodles and stuff? Okay, well, the kids are twisting up the bottles and then punching them on the bottom side of them so they make water cannons out of them. Oh my gosh, it's just awful. I find them all throughout the neighborhood, and I know my children are doing it because my children run the pack of kids throughout the street out here. We have a non-pass-through street, so you really have to drive or live here to come through the neighborhood where I live. It's not a through area, an outlet. So my little neighborhood gets littered with these little water bombs, so I had to scoot the water bottles into my room and dole them out and then make them return the old bottle so that they put it in our trash can so then they can have another one. Or they'll just have to take their refillable ones out and about throughout the neighborhood so I can get them back. But yeah, I miss my little demon Travis. I get him back tomorrow. He's already got in trouble for that today. Yeah, yep. Thank you, Coupon Cutie. If we get any money in the Creator Fund, I am donating that for my notes for anybody in need. So far, by the way, what do we have in our balance? Probably not much. Let's see. We've got $15.15 I can donate so far. I've never done any withdrawals, so there's no withdrawals, but all the earnings I will donate back to everybody. We'll, I don't know, do a contest or something. Somebody can win a section of my notes for the balance that is kept here or whatever. So that's what we're going to do with our Creator Fund here on our Tiki Talks. Anyway, thank y'all so much. Good night. I will talk to y'all in chat, and I will see y'all for the next live on Monday night. Good night, guys. Thanks for the applesauce. That is so cute. Applesauce. That's so cute. Those things are so fun. Woo, my baby's calling me.